we're going to see. Oh dear. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Brilliant way to do the start of the stream.
It's memorable. Starts recording. Friend is in the middle of saying something very inappropriate.
And then I.
Oh well.
Let's see here. So, we should be live.
Let's see. Huh?
Let's see if audio works. So,
I do hear
testing,
something.
testing. 1, 2, 3. Do we have an established connection of audio into the microphone of the smooth, velvety beats?
Yeah, I do hear things, but it's quite quiet.
Okay, let's try and boost up the
Also,
audio.
it's a bit behind, so.
Oh yeah, don't worry. That's why we're talking. That's why we're talking. Hello, people. If you can. Oh dear.
Hello, all 0 others of you.
Hello, all 0 people watching this video together with me as I try to set up everything. I am not a brick wall. I am Skitari. To anyone who doesn't get it, go watch Emperor. If the Emperor had the text to speech.
That's not canon.
Yes, it is. It is now. Fuck off. Can you hear us? Are we audible?
Yeah, I got into the part where you raised it.
Okay.
It's a bit more clear now.
Alright.
Still a little bit quiet, but.
We're gonna boost it a little bit more, and I also now know that indeed it does
And
properly switch.
do you have the thing prepared there?
Everything.
Do you have Prey and Lamb?
I have Prey on the Lamb ready on my phone. So, hello everybody, Visa here, and together with Tumas, because someone wanted me to do a reading of a text, and in fact, we have started doing this before, just the two of us, just when we were hanging out. So, I think then, at that point, I was just starting reading the first chapter.
Yeah.
Now, I have prepared a potential background for this thing, and it's on screen right now in all its glory, because quick mock-up sketches. In favor of retaining what little dignity I may still hold, I'm gonna use a render of Magma Kiln until I can.
Nice place, as long as you can deal with several layers of fire.
It's pretty hot. It's the hottest new location to stay at.
Oh.
I am terrible.
Not compared to me.
Oh, that's very true. So, what are we doing today? What is Prey on the Lamb? Well, I'm actually gonna knock that over to you, Tumas. What would you say Prey on the Lamb is? Before I, actually, you know what? Let's read the. Is this just the preview, the synopsis? What is it that they call the thing that's under here?
It's essentially a synopsis
of
it.
So, let's read this part. This is a story about a sheep. A little sheep locked away in a pony prison. Obviously, he doesn't want to be there, but then he's had to do a lot of things. Do lots of things he didn't want to. Still, no one to blame but himself for getting caught. Hello, as stated above, this story follows a little sheep who is, for now, pretty jaded and hates everyone and every pony. Especially ponies. Stupid ponies. From his point of view, they're the reason everything is wrong in his life. Oh, he's under no delusions that he's just as guilty as that on that front. He just doesn't care. What with the war and all, stupid ponies. Why wouldn't they'll just leave him in peace? Too bad they're the ones with the key to his cell, and now they just want something from him. No doubt it's going to be something incredibly life-threatening. but we're not yet in the story. So before we go any further, a word from the author / delusional scribbler. I feel that. Forewarning, this won't focus on the main 6, and is about OCs, the Luna Night Guard, OCs and the Luna Night Guards. Now onto the rest. First, this will be a long story with slow plot building and character development. If that is the kind of thing you're like, please go ahead. Might end up making it into multiple stories.
A note on that. We are currently at 500,000 words. We are not out of Arc 3.
Second, first story, please tell me what the heck I'm doing wrong and point out grammar and stuff. I'm seeing Tumis shaking as he holds his hands before himself in a wondering statement. Third, I'm writing this story for fun. That's important. I do as I please. And finally, fourth, story is currently T. Might change it to M for blood and gore later on. Editor-in-chief, kind of guy who let us one moment. We are back. I'm sorry. And for finally, editor-in-chief, kind of guy who I'm very grateful for. Sweet old Bob, 18. Have fun, hopefully. And I own Nothing MLP, and all associated products are not my property. So, if it wasn't clear at this point, this is a MLP's fanfiction. Now, if anyone has an issue with that, the door is somewhere
And if it is
in
somewhere else.
that direction. So kindly fuck off right now.
But
I'm worried because my voice thing is telling me I go into red, but if it sounds good...
yeah. And I guess as someone who's read a bit more into this story,
Yeah.
most of it, I will note that anyone afraid of it being too much what they might associate MLP as,
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Let's just have a look at some of the tags. That might also be a good idea. to
Tim,
elaborate.
you read the tag. I'm gonna get my water
Let's see here.
to entertain people.
First, so if we're going to read all of them, we have a tag for the franchise, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Then we have a few main warning tags. We have a tag for gore, violence, and one for death. Then we have dark, adventure, and slice of life. It is tagged as alternate universe, and has character tags for Luna, OC, Shining Armor, Bat Pony, and Royal Guard. And that is, I guess I can say it's rated as T for teens, so 13 plus, and I'm out of things to say. Thank Lord.
I come in again, and the first thing I hear is thank Lord.
I was
Wow.
running out of things to say.
When you run out of script. Oh shit. Have you seen that meme of like a bird at a stand-up comedy thing, and they just got quack quack? That sucks, do another one. They flip the card and the next one is quack quack. It's just the same yoke on all the cards. Just stressed out. That's you.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my. Water. I swear I'm not a drinker. I'm a bottle collector.
So, how much do you think we're going to do?
We'll see how far we go. We'll probably, like, I don't know, go for an hour. I don't know. We'll see.
So we'll probably get through one chapter, perhaps.
Probably. That's probably how far we'll go. I will say to anyone who is into MLP, disclaimer to these people as well, because I have made an effort to watch MLP. because I know you and our other brother had watched it. You in order to understand the stories, I think.
Yeah,
And
I find the stories that people make quite intriguing. This
I-
one would be an example.
we have watched season 6. I've concluded.
Yeah,
We have. So I haven't seen season 7, 8, and 9.
yeah.
So, to anyone in the comments who wants to like talk about MLP, like I can enjoy it. I wouldn't call myself a brony because I think that would be a disservice to them.
Yeah,
Because
same here.
These
Weird.
people have some damn good determination. It's the same
There's
thing that
a lot of talent in things like music,
Yeah.
story writing.
it's the same
art.
reason as why I don't count myself as any big fan base. Because I think it would be a disservice to those people.
My opinion on that is, I don't create anything for it. I don't really
Yeah.
interact with it all much.
I would possibly class you as a brony because of how deep you are in all of the
The way
fan
I miss
stuff.
it is, I'm a lurker.
Yeah,
I don't really interact or
the
contribute.
lurking brony. Someone draw that. Someone draw that. That is.
You realize you're someone.
And you realize I will be drawing that later.
Yes.
Oh well. Enough
Good start.
I am a voice actor. Enough diddle daddling. Let's get into this thing. Author's note. Hello, and anyone reading this, Miss. We'll read all of their stuff now. If the author sees this, firstly, I'm sorry for all of the chaos at the start. But at the same time, just like you, I do this for fun. Secondly, if you have any opinions on my voices, let me know. And if you don't like me reading your story, just let me know. There should be a link in the description. Not right now, but later I'll add it, because I have no professionalism, so I didn't add a link before I started the stream, and now I can't add it proactively. So, we'll do what we do. Let me actually open this.
We take the chapter's name first.
Ah, yes. You can present that.
Let's see here. We have chapter 1, which is part of Arc 0. Yes, Arc 0. A Lamb in Prison is the title of it. It is 12,471 words.
Alright, let's try this. 1.0 A Lamb in Prison. Author's note. Hello to anyone who is reading this. So, my first story. Didn't really know what I'm doing. Pointing out mistakes would be great, thanks. Also, as a sort of warning, maybe, the first few chapters have flashback scenes. Quite long ones. I tried to make them work, but you have to have been warned. Disclaimer. I own nothing of MLP FIM or associated products. P.S. This is going to be a long story. Slow working story. Mainly whatever I feel like writing. Enjoy! Arc 0. The beginning. And then there's an ad about pains in your joints.
You get used to that.
I wish it wasn't a knee. I wish it was a neck. That would have been far better for
It's
me.
a pain in the neck.
That's a pain in the neck. I need this product because it was a pain in the neck to see its ad everywhere. Oh well. Enough of that. Let's be professional. Yeah, that face says it all. Once there was a little lamb. Then he grew old, but not up. The end? No, just an ordinary beginning to a hideous life. Locked away within the prison fortress of Dervton, down in a cell of the second deepest level of Equestria's most secure dungeon, aside from Tartarus itself, lay a sheep.
Just gonna try to once. I'm gonna be the bastard in Rob's option.
Oh yeah.
Try to make it at the end of sentence and such, but I think that is more pronounced like Drevton.
Drevton. It could be.
Dreverton.
Mm.
It's considering it's a word that comes up again and a few times, so
Anyone told?
Dreventon.
Yeah, Dreventon.
Let's go with that.
Sound away. Sir, a letter. Arrived in the post vault just 10 minutes ago, sir. Can it wait? I'm in the middle of reviewing recommendations. Sir, I do not think so. It's a red ribbon one. Alright, bring it in. Let's see. You may go, Private. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Let's see. No, wait. Private, go find Warden String right away. Have him meet me in the office at his earliest convenience. This is important. Sir, yes, sir. And when you're done, go find Faded Archive and have her pull the files from Section 1, Level 2 on Cell 9. Sir, yes, sir. Well, don't dabble, Stallion. Snap to it. Sir, yes, sir.
That is him interpreting sound cues here. You'd be glad these aren't a common thing in his story.
You have papers here.
Oh, God.
Yes! You have stacks of papers, brother.
Just don't hurt him too bad.
Captain Valor, huh? Well, this certainly will be an honor. I do wonder what you want coming all the way out to Durton with the princess's permission. Horse apples! Pine Jingle, don't polish my helmet. Horse apples! Pine Jingle didn't polish my helmet properly. That useless slacker. And just as the solar god is coming to, I'm going to rip that bucking stallion a new one. I get my hooves on this sorry moth-eaten flank.
You
Sound
messed up the word,
Yeah.
the last bit there, but
I'm going to rip that bucking stallion a new one once I get my hooks on his sorry moth-eaten flank. God dang it! Fuck! Sound only ends.
if you can't tell, we're just having fun with this.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be a lot of it. If you guys want like a full-on, just me dramatically read it,
That would most likely then come in the form of videos.
yeah,
with
and
edited ones, presumably.
like if someone was to edit that together, be my guest. But alternatively, I end up streaming this just on my own and just doing it all together. But seeing as we do paragraphs, well, someone could probably edit together a full dramatic reading of this. Sound only ends. Durton was an extinct volcano, isolated in the middle of the sea. Storms were common and powerful waves beat against the sharp, rocky outside of the massive. Here feels odd. I'm just gonna edit that to flow better. Durton was an extinct volcano, isolated in the middle of the sea. Storms were common and powerful waves beat against the sharp, rocky outsides of the massive structure. Approach was only possible by a skyship or chariot. The inmates were all locked away in cells lining the ever downward spiraling walkway inside of the crater. These walkways were heavily patrolled by pony guards, all well trained and alert. Despite what you may think, fuck off! Despite what you may think, because of its craggy appearance, the inside of Durton was actually quite up to date. Running water, magically powered generators, bright crystal lamps, tiled floors, potted flowers, and working plumbing. In fact, if you didn't know any better, you could have mistaken it for an average apartment block. If you didn't step out of the guards' quarters, that is. The inmate cells were a bit less grand. Oh, they weren't crummy, rat-infested rooms. Certainly not. Inquisitor wasn't that backwards. But neither was there much else that could be said about them. an iron bunk firmly bolted to the floor exactly in the middle of the room, a similarly secured toilet, and a reinforced crystal light in the ceiling made up the entirety of each prison's cell.
Ugh, I need my water.
Every cell had the strongest barrier enchantment inlaid into the walls, making them impervious to almost every kind of physical and/or magical assault. And of course, the doors. Each was triple locked, reinforced steel and lead construct over 8 inches thick, with a metal grate and flap. Designed with one purpose in mind: keeping whatever was in the cell from ever getting out. There was never more than one inmate to any cell. More than that, and you got problems. Problems, like the one being one inmate and problems like there being only one problems like there only being one inmate left by the end of the shift. The guards knew this and made sure that each inmate never had contact with any of the other prisoners. Most of the cells were thankfully unoccupied, and silencing charm on each cell kept inmates from trying to yell out to their fellows regardless. But one could never be too careful. The guards took their job very seriously. They were guarding some of the most dangerous individuals in Equestria after all. The only place where worse inmates were stored was in Tartarus. The guards, all unicorns, Pegasus and Earth ponies, guarded a unique mix of criminal filth. From trolls and diamond dogs to griffins and ponies. Few of the prisoners were ever released, deemed too much of a threat to Equestria to ever see the light of day again. On occasion, a few inmates were, then their extensive prison time was up, but that was a rare occurrence. Usually, if you were sentenced to Dervton, it was for life. And those were only the inmates from the upper levels. If you were stored on the deeper levels, you hadn't a chance in hell of ever getting out. The lower levels were reserved for the worst of the worst. Murderers, cannibals, dark magic users, and the like. Many a newly recruited guard lost their lunch over the course of their first few weeks on the job. Hearing about some of the prisoners' life stories from the older guards, they were finally able to figure out what they'd let themselves into. The maximum allowed service time for any guard serving at Dervton was 2.5 years. After that, there was a mandatory transfer for their own good. Nevertheless, the guard took great pride in the unsung service that they gave to Equestria and their solar princess. They sacrificed years of their lives to keep this filth locked away, and it was a sacrifice they were proud to make. They kept the prison running, like clockwork, exactly as it was supposed to. They made sure that no one, pony or otherwise, ever escaped. Let me do that last paragraph again. They kept the prison running like clockwork, exactly as it was supposed to. They made sure that no one, pony or otherwise, ever escaped. I'm just gonna say, this is great world building, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that you have those mandatory changes. I'm a big fan of putting in those safety nets.
I will also point out, the central character, he has quite a grudge towards ponies, as should be noted. Hence his complete refusal to use the terms like no pony.
Yeah?
Except in very certain circumstances, like when accusing someone of murder.
We can
Anyway.
we can actually also note that they mention here they made sure that no one,
Yeah,
because
basically, he
usually
makes a separation of that.
to anyone who isn't into MLP, they are big fans of equine puns for one.
Which then has extended into things like changing anyone or
Yeah,
everyone.
anyone to any pony, everyone to every pony.
But
Now here-
that doesn't
yeah.
apply to ones who aren't ponies.
This doesn't apply to Darkton, because they specifically said diamond dogs, griffins. They have a mixed thing. It's like what Analysts Anarchy did when someone tried to address everyone as every pony. Why can't you all be one blanket term?
The one's just sentient gas cloud who stops him from saying every creature.
For fuck's sake, Moonmen. That insert Moomin
I was gonna
meme here.
say,
Yeah, we are not even half, like, what is that?
I don't know,
Not even a
an
fit.
eighth of the way through this chapter?
Yeah. New part, and I think this is where we get to meet Prey. So that's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Now, I don't think I've yet made like a thinking voice for them. I have their speaking voice. For now, speaking voice and thinking voice is gonna be a very small difference.
Yeah.
Probably mainly like I'm gonna go more mumbly for his thoughts. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what comes. Inside its cells, on the level only one above the lowest tier, a small sheep, a little bigger than a lamb really, yawned and opened its sky blue eyes, rolling off the bunk into a sitting position with a clink of chains, and scowled another day
Scowled.
and scowled another day in hell, he thought. The sheep shuffled its front hooves, feeling the now familiar weight of the crystal-lined manacles. They'd been sealed magically shut over his cloven hooves, which he had thrown in here, when he had been thrown in here to rot all those years ago. 57 years, 2 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days, he noted, rolling uncomfortably out of bed, and his lead
Lead.
that's what it. And his lead-encased hooves hitting the nullstone with a thud. The sheep had been in here longer than most normal sheeps lived for. He shifted, getting the inhibitor collar and shackles into more comfortable positions. He'd perfected the art of doing so a long time ago. Infuriating contraptions, he thought with venom. If it wasn't for these enchanted locks keeping the runes he'd carven into his flesh dormant, then even Durton wouldn't hold him in the face of his intelligence combined with forbidden rune magics. I miss listening to them, he thought, for the thousandth time, with a wistful sigh. All those thoughts and open minds, the petty but comfortingly mundane worries of ponies I pass on the road, the silent bubbles and streams of consciousness that nobody else can hear. He scowled down at the hoof locks. I miss taking them for my own with a mere touch.
He's locked in here for a reason.
I'm enjoying this
Like,
voice.
the way he acts, highly functioning sociopath.
Yep.
He knows the exact amount of days he's been locked in there. Yeah.
You gotta do something to keep yourself sane. I guess if you don't count the seconds, which might let you go insane, counting the days might be more worthwhile. Actually, here's a fun little tidbit. I'm just gonna say kudos to the site. There's a small little circle at the top of my screen, which shows me how far I'm in.
Yeah, that thing.
That is really neat.
That is a great little thing. There's also the bookmarking function.
Yeah, while we're shutting, I'm just gonna get the link to the. Oh dear! I just realized I have not had my.
Yeah.
Oh dear!
I'm thinking
I'm just gonna spread the news to some other people while we're shutting.
it might be worth for you to put a bookmark in, essentially. Which this site has a very simple, nice way to bookmark in chapters of stories. In the sense that if you click on a paragraph, you will get a free. Let's see, I believe it's free options. Yeah, here. Read, bookmark, and quote. Where read does what you expect. It puts it into the automated system to read it up. And bookmark will place a red line on it and allow you to return to that exact paragraph in the story at any point, basically. So you can keep track of where in the text you are more exactly without needing to remember it.
That's really neat.
Then there's the quote option, which basically takes that paragraph and prepares it in the comments. If you want to quote a section of the story, you can use that. Which can be problematic in the case of Prey and the Lamb when you accidentally click quote and you are sent all the way down.
Oh dear! I made a mem!
Yeah?
Do we have anywhere where... I'm just gonna... Here? Suitable enough. Okay, there we go. Back to reading. And we'll see if anyone joins into the stream. I should actually... I just realized there's something I've forgotten to do that I am always very keen on making sure I do. Let us add a window capture. Chat. Okay. Live chat. And we want this thing to do the live chat. Oh! Hey! We got someone in the chat? How nice! Would you look at that?
Indeed.
So, let's do some continuing reading on the server. Hello to people joining. It's there.
I'm just gonna post this for a particular is it fine? Should I?
Do it. Go ahead. I'm not ashamed of reading MLP fanfiction.
Yeah.
Someone quote that. That's... Why am I such a confident... Oh yeah, I recognize you, Jimmy. That is one of our friends in the Netherlands. I'm very certain at least. Liliant. The sheep hadn't always been like this. Hadn't always been a powerful mind mage that he was now. Or was, he thought bitterly. Really? Have no one else to blame but myself, though. Should have set that trap. Should have seen that trap coming from a mile away. But no, the temptation of forbidden knowledge was just far too enticing. He was shaken from his thoughts, soft dropping ears flickering towards the door as the hatch at the bottom of it was clicked open and a tray was pushed inside. On it rested a solid square of something gray and sticky. Dinner time? Oh wait, no, that's Prey's thoughts. Dinner time? Oh, what passes for food round here? With practiced movements, the sheep shuffled over, keeping the slack from the chains from tripping him up, and lowered his muzzle and took a bite from the tasteless mass, analyzing it as he chewed. 5 parts oats, 1 part hay, 2 parts assorted seeds, 1 part barley, other trace minerals and vitamins, and 1 part water. Still no components that could help me in any way to escape, same as the last 41,584 meals before. You finished the dull fare quickly, not really minding the lack of taste. He'd gotten used to it over 57 years, 2 months, 3 weeks, and 5 days. Besides, he'd eaten far worse, or sometimes he hadn't been lucky enough to even have that option. You never complained about a free meal. He'd known what it was like to have a cold and hungry winter after a lean harvest. He'd learned not to say the words, "Mother, I'm hungry," after he saw trembling tears in her eyes. He'd never said those words to her face again. For all the good it did, he thought sardonically. Finished, the sheep kicked the tray back through the hatch, having learned long ago that it wasn't worth making guards come in to get it, and sat himself down awkwardly in the center of his bunk to do the only thing that you could do around here: sit, remember, and meditate on the past.
That one guy who doesn't know how to meditate is out of luck.
Shit! Who are you who is so wise in the ways of science? Well, certainly not me!
What is a science?
We found a wedge. Come, may we burn up?
I'll kill you.
Oh boy, that's a great quote.
That is honestly... What he just showed was an image of Prey talking to someone, and he just says, "I'll kill you." And honestly, that is the image that made me want to do this. In many ways.
The way he describes it, he does it in a very childlike tone.
I'll kill you.
It's just...
It's just way too fun to do kids being sadists.
a kid who's a sadistic 50-plus-year-old who knows dark magic.
Oh.
I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine.
He'd done it more times than he cared to remember. But if there was one skill he excelled at, it was having an excellent memory, allowing him to recall old memories at will and almost relive them afresh. He could remember everything if he concentrated. Even down to the little, insignificant details. He was almost able to enter these memories and relive his part in the events. So vivid and accurate was his recall. His brother had always joked about how one day he'd make it into a unicorn academy once he finally got around to learning how to read. Before the resistance and his brother's death. That is, it'd be in their own little silly oak when they were lambs. Because as if unicorns would ever let a sheep into their academy. Never mind, they'd never actually seen a unicorn. Their village was on the wrong side of the border, and the only ponies around there were all earth ponies, who owned the land they all lived on.
No,
this is not written by us. This is written by Lamb's Prey.
Yeah, that's the account name they go by.
I will add a link to the story later. You can find it on Film Fiction.
Film Fiction.
I think Tim is maybe seeking to try and give you guys the link right now. We will see if that's doable. If so, that is, give the. This is an actual story.
Yeah.
This is a fan fiction.
It is a fan fiction story, but in terms of actual, well, it has close to 520,000 words on
Yeah,
it.
it is like a novel, isn't it?
It is several novels. Busy. It is several novels.
I wonder if they will ever get like a full-on release.
I would, if possible, buy that.
What memories to review today, I wonder?
The sheep pondered, closing his eyes.
Perhaps getting cursed. Perhaps losing my brother. How about the war? Oh, I know. Home, where life begins.
Past. Oh. Oh. There will be voices.
Yep, in this case, that voice would be his brother.
Okay, so older brother? Fleece.
That is his older brother, and then after that comes him talking.
Okay.
Just, without the cynicism.
So I have to try and make him sound cheerful.
He's an actual child at this point, so yes.
Good part is, I can pull it off, as my players can attest to, because someone actually asked where the little girl that they have adopted was, and I said, they're over there. Thank you. Welcome to Durton. The worst place aside from hell. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I just posted a link
Yep,
into
we'll.
the chat. So
Hopefully it will
it
show up.
should be there.
So the pause. Come on, Gus, catch me if you can.
Just wait, please. You're mine.
He shouted back gleefully, his short legs racing after his brother, who laughed and skipped away. Fleece was older and bigger, and easily outpaced his younger brother Gossamer, as they dodged round the scrubby trees and bushes that lay on the outskirts of their family's fields. Can't catch me! Can't catch me! Fleece taunted before darting through a gap in the bushes. Gossamer paused for a second. A slight grin flashed over his face. He knew that gap led to only two possible exits. He may not be as big or quick as his older brother, but he could outthink him.
And if Fleece knows, if I know Fleece, he went to the left.
He thought, turning and galloping off fast with his short leg. He thought, turning and galloping off as fast as his short legs could carry him, following the line of the bushes. Fleece was just emerging from the bush when he heard the galloping of little hooves on the hard-packed earth. He glanced up to see his younger brother in midair above him, a grin plastered over his snout.
Ha!
Gossamer's shout of triumph quickly turned to a squeal of dismay as he overshot and crashed into the stony ground hard. Immediately, Fleece was at his side. "Gus, are you alright?" he asked, anxiously rolling his dazed younger brother over and wincing at the scrapes and drops of blood he saw. I can't see a link, but it... Okay.
Yeah,
Well.
that appeared in my chat here as well.
Alright, we'll just... I'll go here.
So that's strange.
Don't worry, I'm getting the link, and I'm unable to be professional. Here we go.
Yeah,
This
there
is
it
the story. Gossamer, or Goss, as everyone called him, shook his head and sat up with a whimper. He wasn't the toughest lamb out there, nor the biggest, and frequently his mind outthought his body, and he got himself hurt. But he didn't want to cry in front of his older brother.
Don't worry, it's fine, Fleece.
He lied, trying not to sniffle. Fleece raised an eyebrow. Really? You don't look so good.
I'll be fine. Just 2 cuts, 1 bruise, and 4 scrapes, and some dirt. I'll be fine.
Casimir repeated, trying to get up without any further whimpering. Fleece narrowed his eyes. Then before Casimir could react, he flipped his younger brother onto his back and set off for home.
Hey, what are you doing? Put me down.
Casimir demanded. Nope. You're just making yourself comfy. I've got this. Fleece replied cheerily. Okay, I'm doing that line. Nope. You just make yourself comfy. I've got this.
I can walk myself.
Casimir retorted. Sorry, can't hear you but the sound of me carrying you. Okay, I'm doing that.
When you enter a pub team and you carry it.
Me as medic. Sorry, can't hear you over the sound of me carrying you. Oh, he sings it out. Sorry, can't hear you over the sound of me carrying you.
Carrying me has nothing to do with affecting your hearing,
Casimir informed him. Fleece grinned. Yeah, you got me. But does it look like I care? Now stop complaining and enjoy the ride. Besides, you don't weigh anything, Gus. You really should eat more and put on some fat, he yoked. Casimir humped. Okay. Those sounds are really good to get into a young character voice. He was small and he knew it. He was in fact the smallest in the sheep herd of his age. Smaller even than Clover, and she was a whole year younger than him.
Size doesn't mean everything.
He groused to Fleece, idly picking a leaf out of his brother's brown wool as he lay across his back. Hey, don't worry about it. You're a thinker, much smarter than me. I'm the bronze, you're the brain, Fleece told him. And one day, you're going to get into Horned Ponies Academy and show them all that sheep are the smartest, Fleece added with a chuckle. Casimir smiled along with him, his scrapes and cuts quite forgotten as he listened to his older brother chatter away. Casimir smiled along with him, his scrapes and cuts quite forgotten as he listened to his older brother chatter away.
We are about like a sixth of the way through first chapter.
This is how was it they put it? A long chapter.
Yeah, the average chapter, well not chapter, story. Because the average chapter length is like 10,000 plus words. So, when a chapter that is 8,000 is considered short, I have to tell you something.
Yeah, these streams are gonna be fun.
Yeah, they put out regular.
They emerged from the scattering of the trees and bushes that made up the couple of square miles of uninhabited land before you got to the actual forest, and headed for the small log cabin that could be seen on the other side of the carrot field. Oh.
Your ass.
I've got one more.
And I've been following this story.
Water.
I've been following this story from very early on. Boy, there's still a long way to go. And I'm a few chapters behind, so I'm like 70,000 words behind.
Carrot fields, though. Nice. Almost home, Fleece said, rather unnecessary in Gosimir's opinion, as he could see that clearly. But he didn't mind. Soon they were at the front porch, and Fleece led Gosimir off his back onto the step. Hey, Mom! He called. You in there?
Yes, dear.
Oh. Okay, wait. A sheep mother.
Ah, 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 ah.
Sound clip that, people.
Quotes of the sea.
Ah.
Visicord. Ah! Just put that with my face in black
Just
and white.
No, just
and
literally take a sound clip that is a sheep.
Have you seen the video where that actually happened? Like Double K compared the sound of me screaming to a goat and put them next to each other, and they sound damn near identical.
Yeah. Never really noticed.
And the worst
That's like
part
how
is
we used to.
the worst part is that shows up. It's like the first video that shows up if you search Twister23. It's his video. I don't even mind. This is damn well edited thing. Yes, dears. What's the matter? Came the gentle voice of their mother from inside. Okay, how the fuck will I do this?
Not worry, you won't need to get too used to it.
Yes, dears. What's the matter?
Came the gentle voice of their mother from inside. Gross hurt himself. I mean, he got hurt while we were playing.
Grass.
Goss.
Hmm.
Goss hurt himself. I mean, he got hurt while we were playing. Please called through the door into the one-room cabin. Gossamer appreciated his brother taking half the blame. Their mother didn't like it when they played rough and got hurt. She never yelled at them, but her quiet look of disappointment said it all. She was wearing that look right now as she emerged from the cabin's gloomy interior, dusting flour off her cloven hooves. How the fuck do you... My brain is trying to visualize that. A sheep dusting off their hooves. I guess...
Just defy physics.
Knock them together.
Just defy physics for a bit.
That would actually work. Just knock them together and you would get the effect, I think. Also, let's see... How are we on the view count? We have 2 viewers, so that might just be me and Chibi. This isn't sad at all.
Yes.
Is it anything serious?
She asked. Please point to the Grossimir, who looked away embarrassed.
Sorry, Mom.
Gossamer muttered.
Sorry for what, sweetie?
She asked gently, leaning down to get a better look at his minor injuries.
For getting hurt or wasting your time?
Gossamer replied. He knew his mother was always busy managing the crops and house by herself, left their mother very little free time. He and his brother helped out with lots of chores, but his mother tried to keep their workload to a minimum. She said that they were still nothing but lambs and should be out playing, not slaving away in the fields. Because Lisa kept clearing his throat. Are you okay? It's okay. I've been working all day though. But yeah, I clear my throat a lot. Maybe I should get some honey tea. Maybe I should do that.
If we do this again.
Next time, honey tea.
Because I'm just realizing that this is far, far from the longest chapter in the story.
Next time we gotta start like earlier because I want to take a shower before I did this time.
Yeah.
But maybe next Tuesday.
When there is a 20,000 word chapter.
We might do this next Tuesday as well because then we have some time.
Don't worry about it, sweetie. But please be more careful next time.
She murmured, wiping some of the dirt from his white coat.
Strange name for a character.
I mean, look at what we're reading to.
Yes, in that setting.
In this setting, it would make perfect
And I guess, well, Hasbro does own Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. To anyone curious, here's a fun tidbit. Wizards of the Coast, the producers of Dungeons & Dragons, the best role-playing game in the world.
One that's been called Satanistic.
Called Satanistic. The one where you can literally go to hell in a module. They recently released that. Delve into Avarice, I think it is. It's owned by Wizards of the... It's owned by Wizards of the Coast. It's owned by Wizards of the Coast. Did you know this, guys? Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro. Hasbro, owners of properties such as My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or Barbie, if you want to get even more bizarre.
As far as I understand, they've also recently released an MOP-based tabletop game.
Yeah, which I might want to run that. It could
seems
be
like
fun.
something to look at least. But
It could be fun.
It's just the fact, the moment you realize that they have a knockoff version of D&D in one of their universes. And they
Yeah.
literally own the rights to D&D.
I want to check if they owned Dungeons and Dragons by the time that they, in the show, had the reference to it and called it Ogres and Oubliettes.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if they owned D&D by then. Oh, let's see.
For getting hurt or wasting your time?
No, never mind. I did that line.
Don't worry about it, sweetie. Just be
Dear, she thought, turning to Flace.
No. Dear,
She said, turning to Flace.
please go pull some water from the well.
Casimiro was always sweetie, and his brother was always dear. His father used to be Honey before that raider strike 2 years ago. There was a small cross out back for him under the old cherry tree. He had barely been 4 years old, but he still remembered the ram.
Are you okay?
His mother asked, stroking his head and scratching behind his dropping ears, which were so large they flopped past his jawline, so similar to her own pair. Gossamer took after her in that respect. His own white coat more similar to her cream-colored wool, too. His brother instead took after their father, with his brown coat.
I'm fine, Mom. I know I'm not badly hurt, but thanks.
He said. She
hummed. I'll be the judge of that once we get you cleaned up.
Fleece returned just then, lugging a wooden pail. Pail? Oh, a wooden pail full of water. Here you go. Dipping a warm cloth in the pail, his mother cleaned out the grit and dirt from his scrapes and cuts, in a quick and practiced manner, while Fleece kicked his hooves as he sat on the wooden step next to his brother. Gossamer tried not to wince, patiently waiting until his mother was finished.
Mom?
He asked while she wrung the cloth out.
When you went for the village meet, the green fields announced whether any Pegasi are coming to bring rains for the fields.
Oh yeah. Fun tidbit for anyone who isn't into MLP. Pegasi take care of the weather for the most part.
Just gonna note one thing with that. They describe the forest, the Everfree, as unnatural because the weather manages itself. Plants grow on their own. Animals care for themselves.
Yeah.
It's a normal fucking forest.
I love that little detail, though. The Everfree in later seasons becomes just... It's sort of there, it's sort of threatening.
Basically, it's not really
Yeah.
described as threatening for more than a few
Yeah.
episodes.
Like, in the
there.
first season, it sort of keeps a presence.
And it's only really threatening when the episode needs
Where's the poison yolk? Is that in season 2?
I wouldn't define the
Like-
thing that causes floppy horn
No,
as threatening.
no, but like in that
For
episode,
anyone who doesn't
Everfree,
get that, that's-
the Everfree is presented as sort of scary and ominous
Yeah.
in that one. I think up till then it sort of remains. So the atmosphere about the forest. Now, what exists in the forest? Maybe that's when it started becoming less serious
Wolves.
because, as you said, floppy horn.
And there's the
Flutter
wooden
guy.
wolves.
Wooden wolf, yes. If you ever want to see the horrors that exist in MLP, check out the Timberwolves and look up someone's realistic art of that stuff because Timberwolves could be Terrifying.
I've seen some dark takes on them.
Imagine them rotting.
I've seen a take on skinning trees.
Oh, that would
Take a tree and make it carnivorous. Now infuse that shit with magic.
No. Oh. Du-du-du-du-du.
I don't see what's wrong with it.
Greenfields was the earth pony that owned the land they lived on. That owned the land they lived and farmed on. The same went for many other of the sheep and goat families around here. None of the tenants liked Greenfields. His tariffs would. His tariffs? Tariffs?
Tariffs?
There.
Tariffs or tariffs?
Tariffs. Where
Tax.
Okay, I'm just gonna pronounce it all the ways I can, and someone edit together a version where it's the correct one.
I'm sure that's how you pronounce it.
His tariffs were steep. His tariffs was steep. His tithes were steep. His tithes.
That's spelled different.
I'm gonna pronounce it that way anyway.
Damn it.
His tithes were steep. But whoever liked the tax pony? Casimir thought. I'm just gonna do that also in his modern voice, just to get like a sense of the difference. But whoever liked the tax pony? Casimir thought.
He just grows into a ball of pure spite and hatred.
Okay, I'm getting sense that I'm at least managing to give those two separation. His mother hung the cloth over the porch railing to dry before she answered. He did say, sweetie. Her tone said it, but still Fleece asked. He did say, sweetie. And nothing. Nothing has been organized, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to have to water the carrots again by Philip, I'm afraid. She replied with a tired smile. Fleece scowled. Useless, greedy ponies, muttered. None of that, dear, his mother told him absent-mindedly. None of that, dear. It's true, though. I was thinking, Casimir broke in. We barely managed it last year, and this year is even drier. We're going to need either help or a different approach. I know, sweetie, his mother sighed, rubbing his head. But don't worry about it. I'll think of something, she added with another tired smile. Casimir saw straight through it. Why should you have to think of something? Why shouldn't I think of something? We're all in this together, he asked. His mother blinked in surprise as ever. As ever surprised by how grown-up for his age her son was. It always caught her off guard whenever her youngest son would unbalance her with some observation or some fact that she hadn't ever considered before. She smiled uncertainly, but not because of any lack of trust. Did you have some idea, sweetie? She asked. Casimir shot a quick glance at Fleece, who was always looking at him expectantly. Well, I have a few. Do you remember when we were playing by Old Mother... Oh dear!
What?
Cupboard. By Old Mother Cupboard's hut? And saw the old barrel cart she had out back? He asked. Fleece shook his head. No, I must have missed it. No, I must have missed it, he mumbled. It was half buried in the weeds. But that's besides the point. She won't be using it. We could just borrow it. It could be lost. It would be lost easier than... Oh, that's an error.
It would be lots easier than carrying buckets by hoof from the well every day, and the metal sides even have a tap on the back, so we could just walk down the row of carrots with the tap open. We could easily water the whole field once a day in a couple of hours,
Casimir explained. My voice is. We might quit this at halfway through the chapter.
That is quite optimistic, but okay.
Hey, we're quite a bit good in. Flea's eyes lit up, but their mother wore a pained expression.
It's a wonderful idea. But, well, Mother Cupboard isn't the most amicable you around, sweetie.
I have no idea how to pronounce the phrase EWE.
Eve?
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's a female sheep.
Yeah. So, Eve.
Huh.
I guess that could work.
It feels so weird to pronounce it that way when it's W. But oh well.
But Mother Cupboard isn't the most amicable Eve around, sweetie. We could just take it anyways.
Casimir suggested bluntly.
We could just take it anyways.
Casimir suggested bluntly.
We would return it after we're done. Because of how old she is, and how little her daughter is Esther? Because of how old she is, and how little her daughter Esther gets out, I doubt she'd even notice.
He hastily added.
You know that's not okay to do, sweetie.
His mother said with a disapproving frown.
Yes, but why should we have to risk our crop because she's old and stubborn?
Casimir asked, greetingly daring. He could see Fleece nodding along enthusiastically.
Sweetie, that's enough. Mother Cupboard's had a hard life,
Correctly daring.
and even if she's old, that's no excuse to steal,
She said, fixing him with a stern look. Casimir considered the "it's not stealing if you return it" argument, but he knew it wouldn't get them anywhere. His mother's stern look deepened. She seemed to have read his thoughts, and he flinched guiltily.
But what are we going to do then, Mom?
Oh, wait. But what are we going to do then, Mom? His brother asked, looking up at their mother.
I have another plan.
Casimir quickly said, anxious to move on.
Although slower, we currently have only 3 pails to carry water in. If we could get 3 more, then we could carry two, each back and forth from the well. It would make things go twice as fast. We'll create some yolks from the carved planks to make carrying them easier too,
He suggested.
Sweetie, I don't think you and Fleece could manage carrying 2 buckets at the same time, even with a yolk. It's hard work and...
She winced.
You're too small for something like this. Especially you, sweetie.
Casimir hated how his mother sounded hurt. Like she thought his diminutive size was somehow her fault. No, we're not. We can do it, Mom, Fleece said, jumping up. We have to. The carrots aren't going to water themselves, he added with a wave at the fields in front of them.
I'm sure we have the bits. I'm not sure we have the bits to spare, my darlings. Even for 3 buckets, those bags of flour took almost all of my last year's earning. We barely have enough to pay Greenfield's next tithe until we sell the next harvest, she said, shoulders slumping.
For those who don't know, bits is the currency used within MLP.
Just imagine a little oversized gold coin.
Isn't that just gold coins?
See, one thing with that is gold coins are not usually that thick. Like, take a gold coin and make it 4 times as
So
thick.
what you're telling me is
Yes.
bits are gold coins, but extra.
Yes.
I am sorry to anyone who came here for a dramatic reading and had to just live through
Well,
hearing this Swedish man say extra thick
several times over.
several times.
Well, that might decrease once we get to the cellar.
But for now,
Moving on.
we're talking about extra thick coins. There we go. Rule of 3 has been satisfied. Onto the story.
Wouldn't that make it 4?
Nah, not like with an extra voice.
Hmm.
Extra voice! Oh, someone make a compilation of his memes out of this, please. Mm-hmm. Gossamer coughed.
Actually, we do. If we get them from Clover's dad, if we get them from Clover's dad, he has a bunch left over from last year, apparently. He'd sell them cheaply, second hoof if you ask. If you asked, I'm sure, Mom. I contemplated him more than 4 bits a pail.
Do it? How much was it for cider? Okay, I'm okay with it. You extra thick golden love.
Oh, he's here.
Oh dear. Alright, listen here, you little shit. Yeah, McLean Gold, let's face it. I'm sitting here in a skirt and shirt.
That second part is strange.
Yeah, true.
I live with this guy.
I just unbuttoned that shirt.
Yeah.
Because screw it. Just me after showers. And me and Gauss can carve out the 3 yolks, Fleece spoke up. I don't need some useless flank mark to figure out how to do that. How hard could it be? He asked with a confident grin.
How hard could it be?
Top 10 images of before disaster. Also, again, I mean, I'm doing a lot of these things, just intervening with little bits about lore that feels obvious.
For the world when it becomes
Yeah.
relevant, essentially.
And flank mark is probably referring to the cutie marks, which is just, what's your
The
talent?
way they define it is, it shows your special talents. Yeah, several people have pointed out the strangeness of having a mark that tells you what you're supposed to do in life and blindly following that.
Yeah, there are some terrifying implications, but at the same time, I can sort of appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you can clearly go against it.
And you don't get them unless you're a pony.
Yay! Or Pegasus or Unicorn.
They are included in that category.
3 pony races?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Their mother knelt down and enveloped both of them in a tight, woolly hug.
Both wonderful. Still just lambs. So kind and caring.
One of
What?
them just recently suggested stealing, but
What did I ever do to deserve both of you? She asked with a wobbly smile.
I appreciate that way of phrasing it. Wobbly smile. That is an interesting way to put it. Fleece hugged their mother back, just as tightly, and Gossamer tried not to do something stupid and ruin the moment by overthinking it. He knew his mother tried to show a brave face to the world, barely ever allowing her very real worries and uncertainties to surface when anyone was around. Deep down, he knew that she was still reeling from the violent loss of their father.
She'd never really been the same confident Eve after that, but still she tried. Casimir knew about their mother waking up crying in the night. He'd heard the words she whispered to the cross out the back when she thought she was alone, even if he didn't think the deceased ram deserved them. He loved and admired his mother fiercely, and realizing that she wasn't perfect, but was still the best mother in the world, left him in awe. He hugged her back and smiled into her wool. His mother was so strong, stronger than any other Eve in the world. She tried so hard to make him and Fleece happy. She would go to the ends of the earth and back for them. Of that, Casimir had no doubts. No, Mom. The question is, what did we do to deserve you? He thought with a smile. The three of them stayed like that in the shade of the porch, sharing their love for a long time. He had happier memories, stronger emotions, and love. But this particular recollection, no matter how plain and mundane, was what the word family meant to him. That was just over half a year before the resistance came to the village. I think... okay, let me just check how far...
They're like a third.
I'm basically like looking for where does it break and return to current day. Because that feels like a really good place to end this stream.
The thing is, as far as like, yeah, it seems like it does continues in flashbacks for most of the chapter.
We have been live for an hour.
But we have reached a point where it would skip to another part of the past.
So I feel like this is a good place to call it quits for now.
Yeah.
So, anyone got any feedback on this stream? Please let me know. Because I would love to hear any feedback on this. And if you guys want to see more of this, because quite frankly, I'm enjoying reading this. I'm enjoying doing this sort of voice acting and, well, not having to improv things, even though I've not read this beforehand. I'm discovering this alongside everyone else. Aside from the asshole next to me.
Yeah. Last time I got him to read a bit, we didn't really get that far, so we are beyond that point now.
Partly consciously, because I want to stream it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, in part also to give, the author a dramatic reading, because I don't think anyone else has done that for this.
Like, what I've searched for, I couldn't find one for this.
Yeah. So
this is one of a few, I think, stories that I've... Just, there aren't readings for them, and that honestly makes me sad.
It's understandable, though, right? Like...
This one
is long.
Relatively recent as well. And, yeah.
Small
community. Also, by all I've seen, it's not the most well-known one on the platform.
Fair.
As in, it is... Well, they checked, because... I decided to check because they have a thing for trying to promote hidden gems, essentially. But it was just above the requirement of below this amount of views, sort of thing.
Oh.
So...
Okay, everyone watching this, go check out the story and give it views. What? What? What about it? Oh, we have got some new message. Sorry, gotta go. You just found out family. Oh. I'm sorry for your loss. That is all I can say. And I hope at least this message reaches you before you have to go, but very understandable. But yeah, we're gonna end this stream here. And yeah, see people around. I'm gonna wait until this catches up to me changing scene, just to be sure. and then I'm gonna hit stop screen because I have no idea how. Please check your video resolution, the current resolution, which is not optimal. I don't care.
So the reading.
Sierra